Hello and welcome once again. Namaskar, namaskara, vanakkam. Wherever you are, we are back with the Axis My India Exit Poll Part 2. Because this is a long-running serial almost that's got plenty of talking points. And we've got two very big talking points over the next couple of hours to discuss.
The one state where both political formations are daggers drawn is Andhra Pradesh. Phones inundated with calls cutting across the political spectrum, people saying that they will only believe what they have to believe once India Today and Access My India put out their numbers. Till then, they're not believing the data they have, the data all the other regional channels and the others have put out. I want to tell our viewers that we went to all 175 assembly constituencies. We had a sample size of 25,941, and in a short while from now, this scientific stratified sample will be converted into seats, and we'll take you through the results of the Andhra Pradesh. Why is it so bitter, Rajdeep, in Andhra Pradesh? It's almost as if it's a matter of life and death. I mean, it's important everywhere, but in Andhra Pradesh, you know, it's almost as if your business, your life, your death all depends on what's going to happen in the results.
Because you had one chief minister, one former chief minister who was thrown into jail just 8 months ago. You've had a current sitting chief minister who's also endured a jail term. You've had the worst kind of charges that they've thrown. It's very personalized. When you have two regional satraps taking each other on. Remember the days of Jayalalitha and Karunanidhi. Karunanidhi being lifted bodily in the night and taken away. Would you have, even in the worst of times, you're probably not going to have that between the Congress and the BJP. But when you have state leaders pitted against each other, this happens. And this is probably the last state remaining. Look across the country. Across the country, you at least have one national party which is there in a way almost as a stabilizing factor. Now, here it's all, there are no rules.
Here's a point of trivia. Which is the one state in our country which doesn't have a capital at this moment? Because Andhra Pradesh had to have Hyderabad as a joint capital for 10 years after it was heaved off as a separate state. That's now over. So as of this moment,
that ended today.
As of this moment, as of today, Andhra Pradesh doesn't have a capital, and that's the battle. Will it be Amravati? Will it be Vizag? What happens? All that at stake, which is why this poll is so exciting.
All eyes now on the state of Andhra Pradesh. As Rahul just said, it's a state with plenty at stake for the two key players, and also in a sense for the national parties, because remember the BJP here is in a tie-up with the Telugu, Desam and the Jana, Sena. With us to look at Andhra Pradesh and more, Rashid Kidwai joins me. Appreciate your joining us, Rashid. He's tracked many elections. T.S. Sudhir, all the way from Hyderabad, will give us his own perspectives of a state he knows very well. Preeti Chaudhary is here. Appreciate your joining us, Preeti, on the show. Rajat Sethi has been with us for the last 24 hours, and so has Rahul Verma. So great to have all of you. And
what's your poll before you tell us the poll? You were on the side of Jagan winning, right?
I thought when I went to Andhra, I thought that the rural women were with Jagan Mohan Reddy, and it's been my sort of general belief that whoever gets the woman vote wins an election. However, in urban and towns, there was clearly a mood for Chandrababu Naidu, and one of the factors was, among others, was the belief that this confusion over state capitals, the way the government has been run, huge question marks. Don't forget, Jagan Mohan Reddy changed almost 50% of his MLAs and MPs. So clearly there was anti-incumbency. I thought that the women factor could stave off defeat for Jagan, but it was a tough fight. Okay. I think I told everyone, can't take it takkar.
So Rajdeep thought, can't take it takkar. Let's see what India Today and Access My India in the post-poll study have to say. Rajdeep, go for it.
Okay, let's go and look at what Andhra Pradesh says. Remember, we've already given you a sense, a teaser with what could happen in the Lok Sabha election in Andhra Pradesh, where we had predicted that it would be Chandrababu Naidu's Mahakutumi. Chandrababu Naidu, BJP and Jana Sena with the lead. But what about the assembly of Andhra Pradesh? 175 seats here on offer. First, let's take a look at vote share in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Remember, it's always tight here. 44% to the YSRCP of incumbent Chief Minister Jagan Mohan Reddy. 42% for TDP. But, and this is the big but, The BJP pulls in 2%, and then the Jana Sena, which has been dominant in the Kapu areas of East Godavari, West Godavari, coastal Andhra, is pulling in 7%. You add that, and that becomes 51%. The Congress, which fought this election on their own, in fact, put up YS Sharmila, the sister of Jagan Mohan Reddy, in Kadapa as 2%, the state Congress president, others 3%. 2 plus 7 plus 42 makes it 51 playing 44. Is that the game changer? Has the Mahakutumi and alliance politics meant that Jagan Mohan Reddy, even with 44%, is on the back foot? Let's take a look then at the numbers as they stack up for the Assembly of Andhra Pradesh. And take a look at how it's panning out. 78 to 96 for the TDP, 55 to 77 for the YSRCP. Remember, the halfway mark here is 88. So you've got a situation where the TDP is clearly party number 1, then 16 to 18 for the Jana Sena. And that's become a bit of a game changer. Pawan Kalyan's party, actor, politician, is pulling those seats, 4 to 6 for BJP, 0 to 2 for Congress. It's alliance politics stupid, is the message from Andhra Pradesh. 98 to 120 for the NDA. Chandrababu Naidu, BJP, Jana Sena are pulling in their votes. There has been vote transfer from each to the other. 55 to 77 for the YSRCP, 0 to 2 for the India Alliance. So clearly, Rahul, what happened here is that if it had been head-on just Jagan Mohan versus Chandrababu, it would have been as tight as it has been in 2014 in particular. 2019, while Jagan Mohan got most of the seats, in vote share they were very close to each other. But getting in Pawan Kalyan, a little bit of the BJP, but particularly Pawan Kalyan, because his is a concentrated vote in the coastal area, has pulled them up. And I think that's made the difference. Maybe T.S. Sudhir, who knows the area better. Are you surprised with these numbers, T.S.?
Well, on the ground, I wouldn't say that there was a wave, and the numbers seem to indicate that it's not a runaway verdict for the alliance, for the BJP, TDP and Jana Sena alliance. If these numbers hold, what it shows is that the transfer of votes, which was a major concern for the three parties, has taken place, that the Jana Sena and the TDP have managed to transfer their votes to the BJP, and that's a major thing if that really happens. For the YCP, it was really banking on the dole-centric governance that it delivered in the last 5 years. Now, does it show that that has not worked on the ground? I think the verdict is out on that, because Andhra Pradesh, Rajdeep, has always been a Naxal area in the past. And I was always saying that the PWG could actually help the YCP. And by PWG, I mean the pensioners, the women, and the Grameen vote. Now, whether that is not going to work as per
He's still getting 44% of the vote.
Which is still 6 to 7% down from last time.
Yeah, it is down from last time. But what's happened, Rahul Verma, is when you have an alliance of this kind pulling its weight, and as Sudhir said, possibly transferring its vote to each other, that becomes the big difference between victory and defeat.
Sure. But in last 25 years of Andhra politics, even when it was undivided Andhra Pradesh, TDP has never won election alone.
On its own.
It always needed an alliance to win election, and this time getting that alliance was very, very important, because it brings two important communities of Andhra politics. Reddys are much more likely to side with YSRCP. Kamas and Kapu coming together, one makes a very formidable social coalition. And the reason why BJP was hesitant in choosing TDP and for a long period of time, and it made decision at the last moment, because things actually started changing after the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu. That basically created a crucial bump in favor of TDP, that now this alliance coming together will basically surpass.
There's some very interesting detailing when you get into the granularity of this post-poll study. If you look at the gender-wise breakup, the YSRCP virtually holds its own amongst the women voters. Amongst the women voters, the YSRCP vote is down only from 49 to 47, a loss of just 2. But when you look at the men voters, the YSRCP vote amongst the male voters is down from 51 to 41. So all of what he was hoping for, Rajat Sethi, in terms of holding on to the women voter, has largely held off. So that wasn't a fake narrative, that was true. But it's the men who seem to have deserted him. And it is the efficiency of the NDA coalition. You know, the BJP, Jana Sena, the TDP coming together, putting egos on the side, that have cropped up this coalition that's taken Jagan down.
See,
That's a great point, and I mentioned it yesterday as well. This is one proper case study on alliances, and it has worked really well to the T. What has happened is that Chandrababu Naidu, building on what Rahul was saying, this Chaudhary Kamma base always requires additional social engineering to actually fill a prominent section of the society so that you can reach to a level where you can start winning elections. What Chandrababu Naidu in 2014 did, he got all the BCs together on his flank, and that is how he delivered a good, strong mandate. But over a period of time, all BCs gravitated towards Jagan, and Jagan left his own Reddy base at the expense of luring BCs into. And he put all the eggs in the BC basket, assuming that the BCs, if they bank and fully back him, along with all these schemes that he gave schemes, doles worth 3 lakh crores. Which other state is going to give you doles just literally distributing 75,000 rupees, 10,000 rupees, 15,000 rupees in every household? This is what Jagan did. So Jagan's formula was BCs, catch hold of them, keep them united, put the doles out, and possibly come out with a rural backed mandate which is going to uproot or not allow Chandrababu Naidu to come back. But what happened was the contradictions lied within. He sacrificed his own core constituencies at the expense of BCs, and BCs betrayed. BCs were not united this time, plus the Kapus and the Kammas together were a formidable base.
So what he would, when he looks at your numbers, Rahul, what will disappoint Jagan Mohan Reddy is he was expecting a huge lead among women. You see, at the end of the day, you're saying 48% women with the NDA, 47% with him. He will be still hoping that this changes. You see, if this it was clear that the men, it was almost as there were two Andhras. You went into a gathering of men and there would be a litany of complaints against the way the Jagan Mohan Reddy government was operating. You went to the women and it was just the opposite. And it's not just doles. There were some schemes of his which were almost radical and path-breaking. For example, TOEFL education in district headquarters to those who had never had a chance to even think of English education. So it wasn't just monies. It was in a way trying to create a new, almost a new class of people in Andhra Pradesh. If these numbers hold, he's bankrupted the state. But I'm saying if he doesn't win it, it's obvious that there are limits to your politics when you try to do that and alienate a large section of people as well.
I think Andhra would... Chandrababu Naidu and putting him behind bars seems to have backfired in a big way on Jagan Reddy. That's where the turnaround seems to have happened, Preeti.
Unlike Preeti with Arvind Kejriwal.
But then there's a larger picture to it, because then if you read it in connotation, then is it that someone who aligns with the Prime Minister then gets that sympathy, and someone who doesn't align with the Prime Minister doesn't get that sympathy? Because we saw that. But with what you said, with sympathy, you look at Rajdeep, you talk about the rural vote. Huge fall in rural vote for YSRCP. It's practically as much as the fall in urban areas. So,
but tell me, if I may just ask you before I come to on this woman voter.
Right.
You've traveled across the country. Did you notice any similarity in patterns of how women thought from north to south or from north to east? Were these doles, whether it's a Lokher Bhandar in Bengal, whether it is schemes in
it doesn't come,
Lakshmi,
how women
other
vote.
schemes, were they working or not?
How women vote, it's an onion. There are many layers to it. It's not just the direct cash transfers, of course, that they have. When I came back from Madhya Pradesh, I was convinced that the BJP was sweeping the state primarily at the basis of Ladli Behna Yojana. This time around, when I was there, so at one end, there was, say, Bengal. I'm giving you an example. There was a Lokher Bhandar, but at the other end, there was a Sandesh Khali. So there was a doubt in their mind. On the other hand, then you talk of corruption. Then you talk of security. All of that comes together to form on what the woman, and there's trust. Ultimately, who do they trust? So if an Arvind Kejriwal who's offering them 1,000 rupees, if India Alliance comes into power, she'll think about it, but does she trust Narendra Modi more? It's the trust factor plays a lot.
Yes, Rashid.
I think, Mr. Modi and BJP is a paras money. They touch anything that converts into gold. Here is a political party which is doing well in assembly in the sense of netting around 77 seats in assembly, and losing bulk of seats, almost all of them in Andhra. I'm talking about YSR Congress. This is, defies some kind of political logic. If people are voting at the same time, two political parties taking Jagan very close to in a state assembly and voting against vehemently in that state assembly.
Pradeep Gupta now joins us. Gupta ji, I hope you got some rest. I see lots of bouquets and brickbats both flowing your way. Now, Andhra Pradesh was seen by a lot of people who travelled as a kante ki takkar. Yes. However, your poll seems to suggest that it's game, set and match Chandrababu Naidu. What turned it in favour of the NDA according to you?
So, 2-3 things. Just 1 year before, YSRCP government, the state government, was doing very, very good on the account of various social welfare schemes delivery.
In your poll, he was doing better than TDP? Much better?
Much better. And when we asked the kind of benefit people have got, the various social welfare scheme, it was very, very good. The moment Chandrababu Naidu got arrested and some kind of momentum developed, particularly Pawan Kalyan went and met him in the jail. So it's in 19 election, all these parties fought separately. All JSP, TDP, BJP, Congress, YSRCP, and these southern states particularly, they have a tradition of changing every 5 years, in most of the time, barring some cases of BRS and Tamil Nadu, J. Jayalalitha repeated, and Pinarayi Vijayan. These are the exceptional case in southern India in last 40 to 50 years. The momentum suddenly switched towards the TDP government, and after that, everything what Jagan Mohan Reddy did, went against him. For example, candidate selection, changing of the candidates. So many leaders, the top leaders has shifted to TDP.
You think he should have changed fewer candidates?
Yes, I mean...
But that's a catch-22. You don't change them, then there is anti-incumbency. You change them, they join your opponents.
Anti-incumbency as in, see, in Andhra Pradesh, particularly under the rule of YSR Jagan Mohan Reddy, it's only the chief minister. Ministers, I mean, nobody matters when it comes to the people. They only vote against or for Jagan Mohan Reddy. This is the phenomena, this is the case.
It's interesting. Chandrababu Naidu got arrested September. A few weeks after that, Nara Lokesh, son of Chandrababu Naidu, goes on a yatra, which goes till December. Recall, Jagan Mohan Reddy's comeback also began with a yatra.
Yeah.
When he took out a yatra against Chandrababu Naidu. It all, September was a turning point in a way. Suddenly you have Pawan Kalyan now making extra efforts to bring Chandrababu and Narendra Modi together. This is one of the stories of the election. Mr. Modi did not want to originally go in for an alliance with Chandrababu because of all that Chandrababu Naidu has said about him. The man that we are about to interview, along with Pawan Kalyan, spent extra time convincing the Prime Minister that let's go with Chandrababu Naidu. Actually, Jagan Mohan Reddy was doing exactly what Prime Minister wanted. In Parliament, outside Parliament, YSRCP was seen to be NDA plus. And yet when the choice came, the Prime Minister decides to go with Chandrababu Naidu because Jagan Mohan Reddy cannot go with the BJP because his core vote is a minority vote. He has a large 8 to 10% Muslim plus the Christian vote. That he did not want to lose. So he doesn't go with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister chooses Chandrababu Naidu after several meetings, including apparently one late night meeting with Amit Shah that went till 4 in the morning. Where finally the deal was struck. Otherwise, poor Chandrababu Naidu was waiting here for days on end, waiting for an audience with the Prime Minister.
When he was in jail, Nara Lokesh, he tried really hard to get an appointment of Amit Shah. He found it very, very hard, and that meeting was very cold. When he was in jail, and there was some intervention that was expected by centre to sort of ask him to back off.
It all changed around December, January as the BJP. See, the BJP realized, I think, Rahul, somewhere, that we need him to get those extra seats.
And they managed to pick up a few extra seats. We want to go across to CM Ramesh. He's joining us. He's the MP candidate from Anakapalli. Parliament constituency near Vizag. And also remember, he used to be earlier with the TDP, now with the Bharatiya Janata Party. Mr. Ramesh, welcome. You'd of course be delighted. You know, you've played a role behind the scenes to try and stitch this alliance. If it hadn't happened, then it seems the data suggests that YSRCP had the edge. It's almost the perfect coming together. The Sena, the BJP and the TDP together, which all three together seem to have unseated Jagan Reddy.
Yes, Rahul, since last 1 year, Pawan Kalyan, he said, I am not interested to split the opposition vote. Once we are united, then we can easily defeat this Jagan Mohan Reddy because he is doing very big damage to state of Andhra Pradesh. That's why for Andhra Pradesh state's sake, we are all should be united. That was the main Pawan Kalyan, and I also convinced my party. I also told this is happening in Andhra Pradesh. Once we will united, then only Andhra Pradesh for double engine Sarkar we can do better, and also politically it will be good for Bharatiya Janata Party. I convinced all the party leaders, and I conveyed also.
Was it
I
easy?
told 1-2 times.
No, but
was
it easy? No, Rameshji, was it easy to convince them? Was there initial reluctance, yes or no?
I tried since last 1 year. I explained to our party president, Amit Bhai, and everybody. This is the situation in Andhra Pradesh. Last 2 years, what is happening in Andhra Pradesh, and people are fed up also with the Jagan Mohan Reddy government.
Okay, let's get in more voices. Kanak Medla, Ravindra Kumar is senior leader and former MP, Rajya Sabha. I'm also joined by the YSRCP's Avinash joins me. He's been the strategist for YSRCP. Avinash, you've been telling me that wait till Tuesday, you're going to surprise Pradeep Gupta and everyone else. Your internal numbers were well over 100 for YSRCP. What went wrong? Our numbers, either Pradeep Gupta and you seem to be living in completely different worlds.
Thank you for having me on the show. Firstly, I totally disagree with the numbers you're projecting for YSRCP. I'm confident that YSRCP is going to sweep both the MLAs and the MP. And most of the national pollsters are going to get it wrong, just like how it has happened in either Madhya Pradesh, Rajasthan, or Chhattisgarh. Because there are three major reasons. Number one, there is a pro-incumbency wave rather than anti-incumbency wave. If there was an anti-incumbency wave, Chandrababu Naidu ji wouldn't have gone for an alliance with BJP. He would have fought alone. So the vote share, we had a lot of pollsters doing here with a total state level sample of 5 lakh to 7 lakh sample, both pre-poll and post-poll. They give us a vote share of anywhere between 51.5 to 52%. They're giving us a lead among women voters of close to 15 to 16%. So net vote share lead of 5% in the state, which translates to close to 130 seats. So we have got polls done by some of the best known pollsters. So and Jagan Mohan Reddy was the only leader to go and ask vote based on the promises he has met between 19 to 24.
So basically the difference between you and Pradeep Gupta seems to be the woman vote. You seem to believe that you have a double-digit edge among women voters. He's suggesting 48% for NDA, 47% for YSRCP. Can that go wrong? Have you underpolled women for once? I've told you, Pradeep Gupta only gets it wrong when he underpolls women. Is that possible? Could that have happened?
No. This time we have taken enough care, and that it's not women voter is fine. That's what we are showing. 1% ka margin hai. But among the male voter, you see 13% ka margin. So other side is also 50%.
Have you ever seen that before? Such a big difference, male versus women?
No, not at all. UP 2022, between SP in his own poll, BJP polled much more among women voters. The gap actually was more than 10 percentage point in UP.
Mamta Banerjee in the Bengal election.
Mamta Banerjee, that's right.
That was a...
So in Bihar, the JDU and the BJP picked up much more of the women vote. How does this compare, T.S. Sudhir, with what the general consensus on the ground has been, what the local channels are saying, and what their regional pollsters are saying?
Because there are many polls which have been done locally which are predicting different numbers from what we
They're
have
showing
put out.
YSRCP win?
They are showing YSRCP win. So that's going to be a test. I mean, June 4,
but the
some big reputations are going to be heard.
There is,
Sorry?
and many of the channels also are very divided on political lines.
Yeah. And all the national polls have been support. I haven't seen a single national poll that has said YSRCP is ahead. Is there one?
Yeah.
Which one is that?
Times now, which has said for YSRCP.
Okay.
But the point on the social welfare politics, you see, I think South India also looks at social welfare as a brand of governance differently. Barring Tamil Nadu in 2016 under Jayalalitha, which returned the government. And in fact, this is what a senior bureaucrat told me, that whether Andhra will go the Tamil Nadu way of rejecting the party in power despite being given a lot over the past 5 years. And that's one of the major concerns, and that's what seems to be bearing out in Pradeep Gupta's exit poll.
So we can take a look at that. So when we asked people, why did you vote the way you did? 41% of those who voted for the YSRCP said they voted the way they did because of the government schemes that were there. 21% of YSRCP voters said they voted the way they did because of the good work by the state government. But when you come down and look at why the opposition seems to have picked up its vote, 25% of the NDA voters felt that the NDA could develop Andhra Pradesh better. 13% voted the way they did because of the local candidate. 18% were asking for change. And therefore, while YSRCP voters wanted the government schemes to continue, there seems to have been a yearning for change as well, Rajdeep. That seems to come out very strongly in this data.
And it's very interesting. 2014, Chandrababu Naidu wins. 2019, Jagan Mohan Reddy wins. Does Andhra Pradesh have, like some southern states have had over the years, the 5-year itch? Ravindra Kumar, senior leader, former MP, Rajya Sabha, TDP, is with us. Mr. Kumar, many believe that this was literally a battle for survival for the TDP. Chandrababu Naidu, at the age of 74, cannot afford another defeat. These numbers give you a belief that you will be in power. Will you share that power with Jana Sena and BJP? Will you be part of a Modi government if these numbers are right, both in Vijayawada as well as in Delhi?
Well, firstly, I congratulate all the members who participated in this debate and discussion with regard to the Andhra Pradesh. But I wanted to bring it to the notice of to all the members who participated with regard to the ground reality in the state of Andhra Pradesh. Most of them were discussed and exhaustively about the welfare schemes of the Jagan Mohan Reddy. But for the welfare schemes, there is nothing to say about the development and good governance, and also the other issues like capital and etc. There are problems the people of Andhra Pradesh have been facing from the beginning. Number one, demolition and destruction. From the beginning, not today. And number two, welfare schemes, according to his own government, total amount spent on the welfare schemes is 2.70 lakh crores. But the income derived from the state or the central government by way of taxes or otherwise, more than 13 crore lakhs. Though his contribution with regard to the welfare schemes are to be taken into consideration, number one. Number three, there is no law and order in the state of Andhra Pradesh, including the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu Garu, and also almost all the opposition leaders, including former cabinet ministers of Chandrababu Naidu Garu, also detained, and political vindictive nature against all the opposition leaders.
That's a good point. Avinash, you want to respond to Ravindra Kumar? It's been said in the discussion also, the arrest of Chandrababu Naidu, in hindsight, was that a mistake, a turning point? If these numbers hold, that could well have been a turning point. Sympathy plus all Jagan Mohan Reddy's allies coming together saying, Jagan Mohan Reddy's rivals coming together saying enough is enough.
Before I get to this point, I just want to add that most of the rural women in Andhra Pradesh do not state their opinion freely when somebody comes and does a survey on them. So I strongly believe the opinion captured by the women is not totally reflected, but let's get to see it on the Tuesday. And the second point about development, please walk into any government schools of Andhra Pradesh. Please walk into any government hospitals of Andhra Pradesh. And regarding governance, please look at the gram secretariats or gram volunteers, so that no citizen of Andhra Pradesh has to step out of their village to get any work done by the government. Isn't this good governance? Isn't this called development?
But the arrest is seen as part of an authoritarian streak of Jagan Mohan Reddy, that he will not allow any dissenting voices.
So regarding, you are more aware of this. This was a case done by the agencies and the remand was given by the court. Is it that Jagan Mohan Reddy can give the remand? It is a court, it is a judge who has given the remand.
6 a.m. in the morning he's picked up. A chief minister, a former chief minister has to be picked up at 6 a.m. in the morning, the way the arrest was done. Come on, Avinash. The optics were not good enough.
Sir, it was law taking its own course. This was not done out of vendetta. And why would any person...
But there is one very interesting facet that comes out when you look at this poll, which is to do with the youth voter. If you look at how the YSRCP has lost vote, it's lost a little bit of votes amongst all age categories. For example, it's lost about 2% of the vote amongst those who are 51 to 60, 1% of the vote amongst those who are 36 to 50. But if you look at the young, between those who are 18 and 25, compared to the last election, the YSRCP has lost a phenomenal 14% of the vote. Amongst those who are between 26 and 35, it's lost 8% of the vote. Pradeep Gupta, this is a very significant finding and probably explains why Jagan Reddy could be on his way out. Why did this happen?
You are absolutely right, Rahul, in this case of age group. Particularly with Pawan Kalyan, the kind of following, this is what is clubbing together. See, Kapu community, though one can say Kapus are limited to Machilipatnam and Kakinada. But the youth, it was like mad kind of a situation,
The biggest rally I saw in this election, the most frenzied rally was
So
Pawan
you're saying
Kalyan.
the youth are voting because of Pawan Kalyan, nothing to do with Jagan or TDP?
No, all put together. See, किसी भी जीत और हार में एक वजह कभी भी कुछ नहीं होगी. That's why I said all put together to counter the strength of YSRCP, which is the female voters, because of various welfare schemes. Also, the welfare schemes of Modi government is also witnessed about 10% among the voters of NDA, which is also adding up to this. Please understand this. Last time BJP could secure only 1% vote share, But this time, because एक ये human nature होता है भाई, कभी ना कभी तो change होना है. But question है वो कभी कब है? कभी तो change होना है निश्चित है. The question is when that.
But you know, Pradeep Gupta, you say that something turned when Chandrababu Naidu got arrested. And that was the turning point, possibly.
Something.
But I just want to add to it.
Yeah.
So, something also slightly turned in Jharkhand when Hemant Soren got arrested. There was sympathy. But something didn't turn in Delhi when Arvind Kejriwal got arrested.
There is a difference. That's what we all sitting here in media rooms. This is the problem. When you say yatra, what is the yatra? Yatra से कोई थोड़ी ना जीत जाता है भाई. आपको वोट लोगों ने देना है तो आप लोगों तक कनेक्ट हो, अपनी बातों को पहुंचाएं, अपने को समझाएं. बड़ी चीज सुनी अभी यात्रा का मीनिंग क्या होता है. यात्रा का मीनिंग ये होता है कि आप चल के किसी के दरवाजे पे कुछ मांगने जा रहे हैं. ये बहुत बड़ी बात है. नहीं तो आप यहाँ बैठे होके सियाणे बन के बोलते हैं हाँ भाई मुझे वोट कर देना, मैंने ये किया, मैंने वो किया. कथनी और करनी आपने कह तो दिया, उससे कुछ नहीं होगा. करने से होगा भाई.
तो 2 यात्रा की
नहीं, आप उसको ऐसे मत लीजिए. आप क्या सोच रहे हैं कि कर्नाटका की जो आपकी जीत हुई है और तेलंगाना की जीत हुई है उसमें बिल्कुल भी उसका हाथ नहीं है. इट मेक्स द मोमेंटम. मैंने बताया ना, जीत और हार की बहुत सारी वजह होती है, उसमें से एक वजह ये भी होती है.
Rashid and then Rahul, yes.
Radeep, I have a question. What Preeti was saying, can you explain this whimsical nature of Indian voter? When on charges of corruption, Chandrababu Naidu is arrested at 6 a.m., unearthly hour of 6 a.m., he gets huge sympathy. When Arvind Kejriwal is arrested, he gets no sympathy. When Hemant Soren gets arrested, he gets no sympathy. How do you explain this?
He's getting sympathy.
Another thing to add to your, I just want to see, आपने उसको इतना आसानी से ले लेना, इसको ये मिला, उसको, अरे भाई क्यों अरेस्ट हुआ, दैट इज ऑल्सो इम्पोर्टेंट. दूसरी बात,
भ्रष्टाचार था.
दूसरी बात कि क्यों अरेस्ट हुआ है, वो आपको अपनी बात, जनता ने वोट देना है ना भाई, मीडिया ने और किसी ने थोड़ी ना वोट देना है. जनता को पहुंचा पाने में उतना समय चाहिए होता है. एक स्टेट के अंदर, स्टेट की बात कर रहा हूं, पहुंचने के लिए, घर घर पहुंचने के लिए एक सब्सटैंशियल अमाउंट ऑफ टाइम यू नीड टू हैव. एंड मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंटली आपको हर जगह जाके ये बताना पड़ेगा कि भाई दिस इज द फैक्ट.
Rahul Verma.
So let me make 2 points. First, related to in Andhra, since 2004, simultaneous elections are happening, and in both you get a very similar result. In Lok Sabha, the kind of vote share gap that has been projected is very, very high. In Vidhan Sabha, what we are seeing, couple of points movement towards YSRCP, but that is not going to enough to make any changes. Second point, I think like women vote has being sort of like made as a holy grail wherever women are going to.
Monolith.
So YSRCP is having some, think of it, their average vote share is 44. In women, they are getting 47. Means they are reaping benefit among women voters. But women vote can alone not win you elections. When youth are not voting for you, when other communities are not voting for you. So I think like YSRCP solely relying on rural poor women through welfare schemes is not enough to.
But it's an interesting state. It's actually 3 elections in one, Andhra Pradesh. And I think where the change has taken place, T.S. Sudhir will probably know this better, is coastal Andhra. You see, this election, Rayalaseema, my senses, will still be dominated by Jagan Mohan Reddy. And that has more than 50 seats out of the 175. The real challenge comes in those 30-odd seats of coastal Andhra. That's where Pawan Kalyan has made the difference. Remember, he's getting 16%. That additional vote, there is no way Chandrababu Naidu could win this election on his own. Even in his peak and pomp, he could not win an election on his own. He needed that extra vote.
What does it mean then for this new government with Pawan Kalyan playing such an important role in bringing them to power?
Well, the interesting thing, since you spoke about Pawan Kalyan is pitted against Vanga Geeta. On the last day of the campaigning, Jagan said that Vanga Geeta would be Deputy Chief Minister if she wins. So you have a Pawan Kalyan who could also be a potential Deputy Chief Minister. So either way...
Do he and Chandrababu Naidu get along well?
Well, he has been saying that I will be some kind of a guardian force for this next government.
Like an extra constitutional figure.
Yeah, but he actually, despite the BJP alliance, he went to Rajamundry jail, extended support to Chandrababu Naidu, which is a big thing. One more point, Rajdeep. He's known as the power star. And he's actually adding that extra power to this alliance, bringing in the youth vote.
Oh, absolutely.
The youth vote. Number 2, the big difference as far as the male vote is concerned. One of the reasons, to my understanding, could be this whole thing that the TDP spoke about, the Land Titling Act. That your lands will be taken away by the Jagan Mohan Reddy government if you continue with him in the next election, after this next election.
Mangal Sutra.
Yeah, that is a major fear factor.
And the interesting thing about Pawan Kalyan is we met him in his in his trailer, like a film star. There is an audience of 30,000 people. They've already been waiting 3 hours. And he and I are doing an interview. And I actually was feeling sorry. It was very, very hot. And I thought, I should end the interview so that he can go and talk to the people who've been waiting for 3 hours. He's sitting like a film star, enjoying, the cool air of his trailer. Then I asked him, who's your idol? Is it NTR? I thought, I'd stir. He said, no, Jayaprakash Narayan. Suddenly out of the blue, he tells me 1975 emergency, Jayaprakash Narayan. Here I am with Pawan Kalyan thinking, let's talk about star politicians of Andhra Pradesh. He's quite a character.
He's not the typical Tollywood film star.
Yeah, he's not.
In what way is he different?
In the sense that he reads. He likes to also project that he likes to read a lot. In fact, in his early political meetings, he used to tell his followers about the kind of books they should read. So, he's slightly...
And fascinatingly, 2019, he contested with the left. So I said, you moved from left to right. That's when he went, he said, I've been ideologically always aligned to left-center politics. Jayaprakash Narayan inspired me.
But
here I am thinking that Pawan Kalyan, power star, is going to tell me about...
But to be sitting in an air-conditioned trailer and have JP as your hero is a kind of an oxymoron.
Yes, go ahead.
They don't come together.
There are a couple of points that I want. See, the biggest grouse that Pawan Kalyan had was that I have a much bigger following and I end up getting only 5.5%. The problem was he never had that formation to actually project his power that was there among the youth. The attraction power that he had. Once that alliance was there where he could actually add up those numbers, magic happened.
No, but he could be, then he could be doing.
The coastal belt. Coastal belt Kapus significantly moved towards Jagan in the previous election. So this time all Kapus came back into this formidable alliance.
I agree.
And I think this is where the tables turned. Also, one more thing. I did the assessments in Andhra myself. In September month, just prior to the arrest, 15% gap between vote share of YSRCP was ahead by 15%. There was no chance on earth for YSR to lose this election, but they still lost because over the period of 4.5 months, what they did was they had an airtight campaign. They didn't allow, they had, IPAC and all penetrated down till the villages. They didn't allow a single person run even a social media account from the state of Andhra. All people running TDP's campaigns were sitting in Hyderabad because that was the dictatorial attitude that he had. He didn't allow workers on the ground. Let me tell you one last point. What he additionally did was, right at the time when the arrest happened, then the spontaneous anger burst open on the streets. People, common people, not even the workers of TDP, by the way, women, normal people, they started hitting the road. Hyderabad had in their stadium had a spontaneous outbreak of young people who were TDP, erstwhile TDP supporters, not party workers. They started showing up. Suddenly you saw common people saying, we will fight it out. That is when tables started turning.
You just mentioned something which is a battle within a battle. It's not Jagan Mohan Reddy versus Chandrababu Naidu. There's another battle that took place. Prashant Kishore versus all his previous proteges. All Rishi and all his previous proteges are with Jagan Mohan Reddy. Prashant Kishore may deny it, but the truth is that he was very much involved in Chandrababu Naidu, planning Chandrababu Naidu's campaign at some level. Whether he was on a day-to-day basis, there was another guy called Robin who was involved on a day-to-day basis. But there's another battle going on there. Therefore, if Chandrababu Naidu wins, I don't know whether Prashant Kishore will want to take credit for it, because then it would reveal the open divide within the IPAC, which was set up by Prashant Kishore. But he was certainly involved in that battle. And the other interesting angle, Pawan Kalyan's brother Chiranjeevi, at the end of the day, in many ways was a bigger star when he entered politics, but eventually floundered and ended up in the Congress party and then eventually quit politics. But Pawan Kalyan, if this is the victory, could well be Deputy Chief Minister.
CM Ramesh, do you see that as being a bit of a burden now for the TDP to carry, for Chandrababu Naidu to carry, because he has this larger-than-life power star who he needs to take along with him?
Yes, Rahul, even Chiranjeevi also given a statement. He has given a video clipping to me. Ramesh, I know since long, vote for this Kutami for a betterment of Andhra Pradesh. He also given a statement. Ramesh is contesting from Anakapalli. Give a vote to him. And not only, just now told, no dictatorial, how dictatorship has happened in Andhra Pradesh. No one, small even reporter can't do what is happening in Andhra Pradesh. Suppose somebody want to put up in WhatsApp, immediately police will go under arrest. He thought that he is not a chief minister. He thought that I am a king for Andhra Pradesh.
Avinash,
whatever I do,
you want to respond? Did you create a...
Avinash,
you want to respond to the charge being made against the Chief Minister?
Yeah, to respond to Ramesh ji's this thing. If one were to see Enadu, Andhra Jyoti, TV5, ABN, and if you think reporters can't write openly anything, then I'm surprised what else could be called as, freedom. Any given day for the last 5 years, please open Andhra Jyoti, please open TV5, please open ABN, please open
Enadu. Many times he tried. Rajdeep, they tried many times Ramoji Rao to, he went all police to Telangana. The Telangana police was not allowed to take custody. They tried many times. At the age of Ramoji Rao, 90 plus years.
Okay, we'll give Mr. Ravinda, who's been waiting, a final word. Mr. Ravinda, I want to understand, how is this Chandrababu Naidu-Modi bromance going to work, or romance going to work? It's been on-off. Will you fully be part of the government at the center, yes or no?
No. And even from one word with regard to on the day of the release of Chandrababu Naidu garu, it has taken 16 hours from Rajahmundry to Vijayawada to Rajahmundry on the day of release. That is the sympathy, the response of the public, not only in Andhra Pradesh, in Hyderabad also, number one. Number two, there is a lot of anti-incumbency. Almost all the exit polls decided 53% of the vote share in total. Whereas the YSRCP has got only 40%. With regard to the question coming to you, all the parties have taken a stand not to divide the vote against the YSRCP, because people are very fed up with the rule of the Jagan Mohan Reddy.
Okay.
There is no law and order, no security. The existence of Andhra Pradesh is main important. Unless Chandrababu Naidu come to power, it is impossible to save the country, to save the Andhra Pradesh and the existence of the state in the country.
Okay. So we want to thank our guests for joining us. We're out of time at the moment. This is a very contentious, fractious election. We'll wait till the 4th to know what actually happened. Hopefully, Gupta ji would have got it right.